Ahoy there, and welcome to the Art of Biz and Chill, where I am an unfiltered entrepreneur chronicling my lifestyle, travels, and innovation expertise. I am your host, LAINAVERSE, innovation specialist, hotel UGC creator, and owner of LAINAVERSE Works, my innovation consultancy, where I am supporting the financial technology, fintech, and hospitality industries, respectively. So, I have a podcast, and I have had this YouTube channel for a minute. I've gone through many a phases, just figuring it out. Not really putting in too much effort as far as like fully defining who my audience is, doing all the appropriate search things or whatever. But now we have a mission. We got a dream. I have a podcast, and because I've had this YouTube channel since like what 2022. Actually want to take a shot at seeing if I can monetize it within 6 weeks. If I don't, whatever. But I'm showing up between Monday and Saturday. The main thing that I'm covering here is the development of, I guess, the brand that represents more of my purpose. It is called Cosmic Noiress. It is my speculative fiction brand that I have. It pretty much is like the place for me to write short stories and in due time develop my own art and just the entire brand ecosystem that I'm building out for that to fund my art and to fund that endeavor. Because ultimately, in the next 3 years, I have like a grand vision for it. So the purpose of this YouTube is to cover the business side of developing that brand. Maybe later this year, potentially pushing into next year, I'll have the YouTube channel. I have another YouTube channel that's under LAINAVERSE. That is more so my art moniker and all things art for me to share like the visual art that I'm developing for that. And I'm sure I'm going to use that channel to track like my development because the new chapter in my life of being a visual development artist, because I have a background as an illustrator. I have some of my animations on here, and my work is just trash right now. It's not a priority right now. My priority is financial solvency, which like is also a part of me doing just the YouTube. This is the long money, but give or take if I attract clients for it. Because my service is through LAINAVERSE Works. I'm gradually working towards the hotel UGC stuff because I definitely do want to do that. My angle for it is covering workation lifestyle. So because I'm a creative entrepreneur, I'm an artist, I'm always working on something. I'm always coming up with a project, and like the environment matters. So my thing with that is covering the workation style for the hotels to attract other business professionals and entrepreneurs, creatives, whatever, to pretty much to showcase how that environment is conducive to work and play. It offers both worlds, but like my main bread and butter is fintech and making personal branding content for fintech executives. That is more so what I'm going to cover on the podcast is like my innovation expertise, my background that relates to that. But this also just gives a platform because what I'm building with Cosmic Noiress, that brand is innovation. Everything that I do, my entire history, My life is innovation. I am an original thinker. Like, there's a distinction between creative and innovation. I covered that on the podcast episode from last week. And, I'll probably get into it in the videos here. But it's like innovation is the next step of evolution. This is the next step in evolving as a creative, at least for me, in merging like left brain, right brain, soft, hard skills, analytical, creative, bringing that together for the results that I want to bring to fruition. So when it comes to the Cosmic Noiress brand, so my short stories, or pretty much everything I'm talking about, the links are going to be in the description. So you can go check out what's relevant to you, subscribe, interact, whatever. But mainly with Cosmic Noiress, I have been, the framework is I put out short stories every month. Each Wednesday, I put out each part of the short story. Potentially, there may be more parts, so I'll put out like an extra part on Mondays or Fridays, whatever. I'll figure it out when I get there. But my main audience for that is Black women, Black ladies, and it's, I'm curating an entire experience for us to have cozy escapativities. So to build out just reading, turning that into an entire experience, and that's taking my art and making that into merch, working with brands with as far as affiliate marketing, particularly Black women-owned brands, but give or take other members of the community, like Black men, sure, you can be included. Like one of the brands is owned by a husband and wife, and I know the husband, so, but the wife still has ownership. But ultimately, the framework for that is choosing products that add to like the cozy escapism experience with like weed, tea, candles, crystals. I make a playlist. So, and then like the merch that I'm putting out is a mug, blankets, a bag, jigsaw puzzles, and like all of that features like the art that's relative or related to whatever the story is for that month, and also just for the overall Cosmic Noiress brand. And you buy through the brand partners, use my discount code, I get a kickback commission wise, and then of course I'm selling my merch, I get that money. So it's like pouring into this pipeline. Then I also have the Cosmic Noiress patronage. So instead of going through Patreon, I have like 2 tiers so far, but I've pretty much am developing my own patronage system. There's different phases to it. Right now it's a one-time payment, and then I'll be creating a subscription model for it come phase 2. But I'm building all of these financial pipelines. Even this YouTube channel is a part of the financial pipeline, because over the course of 3 years, the framework is that every year, each month I present a short story. Closer to the end of this year, the short stories that I'm posting, I'll also be including visual development art. I'll talk about that in another video perhaps, because I'm trying to keep these between 10 and 15 minutes because I be talking. But ultimately, the framework, like I said, is that I am writing a short story each month. In due time, I'll be having art that I pair with that. So character designs, environment designs, with the magic or the mysticism, whatever the mystical power system is looking like, drawing out scenes and doing all that. And I want to also turn that into, adding that to the merch line, which is called All Things LAINAVERSE, my Substack, where the short stories are in the Maestra mastery updates that I put out every Monday. All that's on Substack. But once I complete each story, they'll go on the LAINAVERSE website. And then each year I'm compiling the short stories and the art, editing them, because what I put out, I don't edit it. It's just completely raw in drafts. So editing the stories I did for the year, then putting out an actual anthology each year that collects everything for people to enjoy. And then making a hardcover edition I feel like I'm going to put out every Juneteenth. It's just black, 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 black on black. Like the anthology come out every Black History Month. So that is like, I'm big on Black women. That's the center of that brand. I'm a Black woman. It's crazy. It's like I care about my demographic. So building that out and then doing that yearly, but over the course of 3 years, as I'm like building out the income and everything, my ultimate goal is to then take 5 stories, animate them, as far as I'm the producer and the director, visual development artist. I ideally want to build a all Black women team of animation artists, and be able to fund, pay them ethically. Potentially, this is my long-term in-house team, like, with KyoAni or Kyoto Animation and Studio Ghibli. Maybe MAPPA has the same team, but building out like an in-house animation studio like that way, and being able that I'm the producer and the director, I'm able to fund all this because of these systems that I built out with these, basically building out these financial pipelines. So being able to start that production in those 3 years, I have the audience built from people being invested for all that time, and ultimately within 2-3 years completing the production and then putting out that series. There's other moving parts I'm looking to build out. So everything I talk about on here isn't everything that I have planned out. I don't need your insight. I don't need your plans. All I need is your support and your money if you're interested, because I have a brain and I'm an innovator and I already got a plan for how I'm doing this. And I actually got to execute each step and go through the experience of the suck and fixing things for things to shake out how they need to. So just so that you're aware of that. I know everybody be trying to help and involving themselves, because for whatever reason, just because you see things up front don't mean that you know everything that's working and that's working behind the scenes. So I'm gonna leave it at that, but I'll get into like what the bigger plan is, especially where especially hotels fit into the scene. And I'm gradually figuring out how, over the course of the year, I'll figure out where fintech fits in, but ultimately, like, fintech fits in because that's how I'm getting paid. So that is what it is. Currently, I am, this week, I don't have the Cosmic Noiress website ready, but more than likely next week, or definitely, I don't know, now I'm thinking about it, I think more so like in June, I'll have the Cosmic Noiress website available, which will be like the hub of all these moving parts. Because it's a lot to keep track of when you're not me. I understand. I've learned over the course of my life that people get confused about what I'm saying. But as it goes, just because you confused, don't mean that I'm confused, sweetheart. So, boundaries. Stay in your energy. Don't bring that shit over here. So, that's all I have to say for this episode. Like I said, the next 6 weeks, I am posting daily. That's going to be Monday through Saturday. and keeping the videos as tight as I can. If you want to go to whatever next step or just keep up with me longer term, because as it goes with YouTube, just because you're a subscriber don't mean that this is rented space. So if you are more invested in my journey and want to, stay directly in the orbit, get on the Art of Biz Chill newsletter that's also on Substack. You can tune into the podcast and anything else that you're curious about. Like I said, it's down here in the description. So thank you for your time, your attention, and your care. Consider liking, subscribe if you vibe, share with love, and comment wisely. Because on this part of the internet, we're business professionals. And if you talking crazy in the comments, you're a fucking loser. And this ain't no loser ass space. So keep that in mind. If you want to bitch about it, you should go apply for a job instead. So I will catch you in the next one. Deuces, and for glory and pleasure.